There's a savings rule in China that most Westerners have never heard of. It's called 4321. And if you follow it perfectly, you'll end up with more money than 90% of people your age. The problem is, it wasn't designed for wealth, it was designed for survival. Let me explain. In the early 2000s, Chinese households saved an average of 38% of their income. Not 10%, not 15, 38. By 2010, that number hit 50% in some provinces. Half of everything earned locked away. American economists called it irrational. Why would anyone hoard that much cash when they could invest it, spend it, enjoy it? The answer is simpler than you think, and darker. China doesn't have a safety net the way most developed countries do. No universal health care, no robust unemployment system, no guaranteed pension for most workers. If you lose your job, get sick, or your parents need care, the government isn't coming. Your savings account is. So families built their own safety net, and the 4321 rule became the blueprint. Here's how it works. 40% of your income goes to long-term investments, real estate, stocks, business ventures, things that grow. 30% covers your mortgage or rent. 20% goes to short-term savings, emergencies, vacations, minor repairs. 10% is for insurance, health, life, accident coverage. It sounds clean, almost elegant, but the rule only works if you can actually save 40% of your income in the first place. And that's where the math gets uncomfortable. Let's say you make $5,000 a month. After taxes, maybe $4,200. 40% of that is $1,680. For investments, before you've paid rent, before you've bought groceries, before you've done anything. In most Chinese cities, this was possible because of three things: multi-generational households, subsidized housing through work units, and the expectation that you simply wouldn't spend money on anything non-essential. No daily coffee, no streaming subscriptions, no eating out unless it was someone's birthday. The lifestyle required to follow 4321 isn't minimalism, it's austerity. And it worked. Sort of. Chinese household wealth exploded over 2 decades. Property values in Beijing and Shanghai increased tenfold. Families who bought early became millionaires on paper. The rule didn't just build savings, it built empires. But there's a twist. 70% of Chinese household wealth is tied up in real estate, one asset class. And in 2021, the property markets started cracking. Evergrande defaulted, Country Garden collapsed, prices in Tier 2 cities dropped 20, 30, sometimes 40%. Suddenly, the 40% you invested isn't growing, it's shrinking. And because you spent decades putting everything into property, there's no diversification, no cushion. The safety net you built is made of concrete, and concrete doesn't bend. Here's the irony. The 4321 rule was designed to protect you from uncertainty, but it only works in a stable, growing economy. The moment growth stops, the system turns against you. Chinese millennials are starting to realize this. They're calling it lying flat. The idea that no matter how much you save, the math doesn't work anymore. Property is too expensive, wages are stagnant, the future their parents promised isn't coming. So they're opting out. In the West, we're obsessed with finding the perfect savings rate, 10%, 15%, 50% if you're into FIR. We look at China's 50% savings rate with envy, discipline, sacrifice, delayed gratification. But we miss the context. They're not saving because they want to retire early, they're saving because the alternative is catastrophic. The 4321 rule isn't aspirational, it's existential. And yet, the principle still holds something valuable. If you can genuinely allocate